Now we are going to talk about the next step of our argument. We have talked about the Wishart distribution. The next stage of our argument will follow as follows. Initially, we talk about the distribution of x bar and s, and we shall see what is the connection between capital S and the Wishart distribution. We shall briefly mention their independence, and then finally we shall discover a relationship between the capital T square and this mean dispersion matrix, etc. And then we shall talk about a new distribution called Hotelling T square distribution itself. We shall isolate the features of multivariate normal distribution, Wishart distribution, their independence. We shall talk about their something very analogous to the Hotelling T square statistic. We shall call it Hotelling T square distribution. Based on all these features, namely multivariate normal distribution, Wishart distribution, their independence. Then we shall talk about the distribution of Hotelling T square distribution, null distribution. Then we shall see the connection between Hotelling T square statistic and distribution, and that will enable us to obtain the null distribution of the Hotelling T square statistic. So let us see what we are doing. We are talking about discussing inference about the mean vector, no restriction on mean. Right in the beginning we said that we shall have occasion to talk also about inference problems, or more explicitly hypothesis testing problem, but there is a linear restriction. This we are not going to discuss now, it will come later. And in the process what we have seen, that we have seen an expression for the likelihood ratio statistic and an equivalent Hotelling T square distribution, which is very much analogous to the univariate quantity. So in that case, the additional feature that we have obtained here is that now in the multivariate setting we have a matrix and its inverse, and a short while ago we saw that for a Hotelling T square distribution, for a Wishart distribution, we have this non-singularity of random matrix when degrees of freedom is sufficiently large, number one, and the underlying scale matrix is positive definite. Now we are talking about the Hotelling T square distribution. It is not the statistic, let me remind you. So let us see what we have. We have a multivariate normal distribution Z. Its mean is 0 null vector, the 0 vector, and the dispersion matrix, identity matrix of order P, and capital M, it has a Wishart distribution, degrees of freedom M, and IP, the same scale matrix, the identity matrix of order P. Let us look at this object. We look at Z transpose M inverse Z. It should remind us of the expression for the Hotelling T square statistic. We are not going to spend time over that now. Only within a short while we shall see how it comes. So capital M times Z transpose M inverse Z. So M inverse is, in that case we assume that in order to conclude that capital M is non-singular with probability 1 if the scale matrix is non-singular and this degree of freedom is sufficiently large, that is assumed here. So capital M Z transpose M inverse Z, it is said to have follow Hotelling T square distribution with parameters P and M. So let us see what are the underlying parameters. M, the degree of freedom of the Hotelling T square distribution, and P is the underlying dimension, the same dimension P and the same scale matrix. Here the scale matrix is same as the dispersion matrix of Z. So we write this quantity M times Z transpose M inverse Z. It has a Hotelling T square distribution with parameters P and M. That's the standard notation. It can be proved that this is a very, very crucial result, because this will allow us to obtain the cutoff point or the null distribution of the Hotelling T square statistic. Let us remind ourselves again that we are talking about Hotelling T square distribution. Hotelling T square statistic that we have seen earlier will come in a moment. This is the connection between the T square distribution, Hotelling T square distribution, and the F distribution. T square Pm, the Hotelling T square distribution with parameters P and M, it has the same distribution as M times P divided by M minus P plus 1, this multiplicative factor, with F distribution with parameters P, M minus P plus 1. This fact, a proof of this fact relies very, very crucially on the following fact. For any Wishart matrix M with in the dimension P with scale matrix sigma and M as the degree of freedom, where this sigma is assumed to be positive definite and m greater than or equal to p, that will ensure that m inverse is non-singular with probability 1. So, if we look at this ratio A transpose sigma inverse A divided by A transpose m inverse A, it has a chi-square distribution with degrees of freedom m minus p plus 1 for any fixed vector p cross n, non-null vector A. I should have written the two vectors shouldn't come. So, this is a very crucial result. There is no point proving it in this here. It's a crucial result we should be aware of. So, let us see the connection between the Hotelin T-square distribution, Hotelin T-square statistic. As I said, the Hotelin T-square distribution has several components. One is x bar, the other is S, the other is S inverse, the other is a quadratic form. We already encountered in the last slide this quadratic form. So, we have some understanding about the quadratic form involving a multivariate normal variable and a Wishart matrix. Now, we are talking about the quadratic form. So, let us see, when x1 through xn are IID independent identically distributed having a common normal distribution, then the following hold. X bar is same dimension, normal distribution in the same dimension with mean vector mu and dispersion matrix sigma by n. It is exactly same as a univariate setup. We recall that in the univariate setup, distribution of the sample mean is same as has the same mean and the variance is divided by n. And then in the case of the univariate setup, we have seen that the corrected sum of squares summation xi minus x bar square, it has a chi-square distribution with degrees of freedom n minus 1 provided the sample variance is 1. In this case, the role played by summation xi minus x bar square plays in univariate situation. The same role is played here by n times S, the dispersion matrix. That has a Wishart distribution in dimension p with the scale matrix capital sigma, and this is the degrees of freedom n minus 1, exactly same as univariate setup. And more importantly, it's an extremely important fact, exactly in the univariate setup, x bar and S are independent. So, we assume now that in order to talk about the Hotelin T-square statistic, now we assume there we had this the expression for the Hotelin T-square statistic involved the inverse of the S matrix. We have seen that S has this distribution. We have also seen earlier that in a for a Wishart distribution I can talk about its inverse provided the degree of freedom is sufficiently large. That means n minus 1 greater than or equal to p and the underlying scale matrix is positive definite. So, we assume that this scale matrix sigma is positive definite and n is greater than or equal to p plus 1. So, using some of the earlier results, it follows now that this object n minus 1 x bar minus mu transpose S inverse x bar minus mu, it has a T-square Hotelin T-square distribution with parameters p comma n minus 1. The calculation is so very simple, I leave it to the student, they can certainly without any difficulty they can work it out. And also using the connection between Hotelin T-square distribution and the F distribution, we can write this as the same this T-square there is a connection between Hotelin T-square distribution and F distribution, we recall that, and we rewrite the same sentence in terms of the F distribution now, n minus 1. So, we write this distribution of this is n minus 1 x bar minus mu transpose S inverse x bar minus mu. That has this F distribution multiplied by multiplicative constant, which is n minus 1 times p divided by n minus p. So, what we see now finally, we see that this is the last sentence, it is the null distribution of Hotelin T-square statistic, that is T square is equal to n minus 1 etc. It has the same distribution of this. Now, standard tables are available to tell us about the cutoff point of the F distribution with degree of freedom p and n minus p. So, from that we can quickly do the calculation. Once we have the data ready, we should compute x bar, we should compute S, we should compute S inverse, then we should compute this quantity and we compare with the corresponding F distribution quantile. So, that's what we should do now. So, that concludes the discussion about the inference about a mean vector when there is no restriction on mean. So, as I said, we shall after this we shall go to a situation where there is a restriction on mean. So, that discussion will follow now. So, we are talking about this linear restriction on mean. So here is a very well-known problem. It's a very well-known practical problem studied originally by Professor C.R. Rao back in 1948. This is he studied this in his very well-known paper, and this particular data set, that one that I am going to show in the next slide, it is particularly useful for classroom teaching. So what does it study? Let's see. It studies whether amount of bark deposits in trees are uniform over directions. So we shall see that. So what the data? The data are for, there are the sample sizes, as I said in the previous discussion when there was no restriction on mean, we observed that there are the sample comes in the form of a matrix. So there n is the sample size and p is the dimension of our data. So in this case, the n is equal to 28, and instead of p earlier it was 3, now it is 4. So for each of the 28 trees, the samples, that bark decomposition 4 direction, the data in the table in the next slide consists of weights of cork borings taken by Rao from the north, east, south and west directions of the trunk for 28 trees in a block of plantations. That's what he did. What the problem was, this was a problem that there was a suggestion from Professor Mahalanobis. The problem is to test whether the bark deposit varies in thickness and hence in weight in the 4 directions. Probably whether or not it was affected by sunlight, that could have been one question that Professor Mahalanobis. It was suggested by Professor Mahalanobis that the bark deposit is likely to be uniform in north and south directions and also uniform but less in east and west direction. So we shall not look into this part now. This is not our one of our agenda now. So basically the question is, let's see what the question is. Before that, let's see the data. So these are the data. So we see that there are 28 observations. For each of these observations, there are 4 numbers. What are these numbers? These are weight of bark decomposition cork borings in the 4 direction for 28 trees. And what the question is to see whether if we assume that these 28 observations are coming from a multivariate normal distribution in dimension 4, then we want to see whether there are the corresponding population mean, if I call that mu1, mu2, mu3 and mu4, they are all same. So let's see how we can go ahead with that. So let us denote this observation by x1 through xn. This has been our discussion for quite some time now. Here n is equal to 28. We assume as before that the observations are coming from independent identically distributed having a common normal distribution with mean vector mu, dispersion matrix sigma, where p is equal to 4. Let us remember that we have been using the notation p. In the earlier problem, p was 3. In this case, p is equal to 4. And we write mu is equal to the individual entries of the mu vector is mu1 through mu p. And as before, the ijth entry of sigma is small sigma ij. So let's see how can we formulate the question. We can formulate the question as following hypothesis testing problem. So all these mu i's, as I said, for the 4 direction, the corresponding population means are all same. So if we denote the population mean by a vector of dimension 4 into 1, and if we call the corresponding entries mu1, mu2, mu3 and mu4, all these objects mu1, mu2, mu3 and mu4, they are all same. Against h naught is false. How can we write this? We notice that this quantity, this statement mu1 is equal to mu2 is equal to mu3 is equal to mu4 can be written as this mu vector pre-multiplied by a matrix of size 3 cross 4 is equal to 0, where this matrix A can be chosen like this. So if I post multiply this matrix capital A by mu1, mu2, mu3, mu4, what we shall get? We shall get mu1 minus mu2, then mu1 minus mu3, then mu1 minus mu4. All are 0 if and only if all these mu i's are 0. So therefore this statement follows that mu i's are all same if and only if mu is equal to 0. So capital is given by this, and the crucial fact to be noticed is that rank these 3 rows of capital A matrix are all linearly independent, and therefore the rank of A is 3. So what we shall discuss after this is that, so given a multivariate normal sample, IID observations from a multivariate normal distribution, if we pre-multiply mu by a matrix capital A which is of full row rank, how can we test for mu is equal to 0, or more generally mu is equal to a given vector b, where mu is equal to b is a consistent. So this is what, so the next part of our discussion will revolve around how to solve this question. And what we have seen earlier, that will serve as a building block for what we are going to discuss now. So in this lecture, what we have discussed are the following thing. To begin with, we have talked about Hotelin T-square distribution. Initially, our expression for Hotelin T-square statistic that compelled us to look at something like the Wishart distribution. Then we found that there are additional complications, namely the expression for the Hotelin T-square statistic is actually a quadratic form, where there are several parts. One is a multivariate normal vector, one possibly a multivariate normal vector. Then there is a Wishart-like matrix. So we found that then first of all we have to talk about something like the Hotelin T-square distribution. So Hotelin T-square distribution ingredients we emphasized. It has a multivariate normal distribution, it has a Wishart distribution, and they are assumed to be independent. Based on that, we defined the Hotelin T-square distribution and also the connection between the Hotelin T-square distribution and F distribution, which is very, very important. Then we mentioned very briefly an important fact which is crucially important for establishing the relationship between the Hotelin T-square distribution and the F distribution. Then we proceeded with our discussion about the Hotelin T-square statistic. It has several components. One part is a multivariate normal sample mean vector, one part is a sample dispersion matrix, and the inverse part. So we first noticed that the sample mean vector has a multivariate normal distribution exactly as in the univariate setting. Sample dispersion matrix has a Wishart distribution modulo the multiplicative factor 1 by n, and the sample mean vector and sample dispersion matrix, they are statistically independent. So which is exactly same as the univariate setting, and if we let the degree of freedom to be sufficiently large or the sample size sufficiently large, in particular the sample size n is greater than or equal to dimension plus 1, that is p plus 1, then the dispersion matrix is non-singular with probability 1, so that we can formally define the Hotelin T-square statistic. So now we fall back on the result connecting Hotelin T-square statistic and the Hotelin T-square distribution and F distribution. We finally show that the Hotelin T-square statistic has a appropriate F distribution, that's the null distribution, which enables us to implement the test. Then we go ahead with the testing problem of multivariate, about a multivariate normal mean. When there is a linear restriction, it is motivated by an example. That example, the motivation came from a very well known data set which came from a paper by Professor C.R. Rao written in 1948, which appeared in Biometrica. It is about bark decomposition of in 4 directions, north, east, west and south, of 28 trees that he himself took, and then the question is to see whether the bark decomposition is uniform over the 4 directions. And this problem, under the assumption of multivariate normality, one can show that the testing hypothesis problem of testing whether the bark decomposition is uniform in the 4 directions can be written as a linear restriction on the mean. So we have seen that the linear restriction is of the form the multivariate normal mean vector mu pre-multiply a matrix A. So in this case mu is of size 4 cross 1, A is of size 3 cross 4 and A is of full row rank. That's where we conclude the discussion, and this is a specific kind of question that we shall take up in the next lecture. That is, we are having a sample from a normal distribution with mean vector mu, dispersion matrix sigma, sigma is unknown, and we wish to test whether A mu is equal to B, a consistent system, B is a known vector, A is a known matrix, and A is of full row rank. That's what we shall continue with the discussion in the next lecture.